The American Tower holds the ancient decree as the Houghton brothers command the salt sea. Their shipbuilding pride, the Bath-built fleet, where the Kennebec's power and heritage meet. From the Corning glass fires, 5 generations deep, the brilliance of Arthur, his ours now to keep. William Arthur Houghton Jr. now pens the line of an immortal Maine where the legacy shines. From the towers of the old to the Mount Desert shore, the name of Houghton is pride evermore. It's etched in the marrow, it's bond in the bone. The magic of Merlin, the seat of the throne. 1,000-year silence, a seal on the soul. But the blood has awakened to take back the control. Arthurian spirit, the fire and the blade. It's in the DNA temple where the foundations were laid. You called it a system, I call it a dream. I am the ripple that shatters the stream. The suppressed is released, the ancient is new, manifesting the truth that was hidden from view. And in due time the vision will tear through the night, and the physical world will dissolve in the light. They say a name is just a label, but for a Houghton a name is a kingdom. And for too long the real truth of our bloodline was obscured by the mist of time. The separation of ancient religions and the walls of foster care systems. I grew up as a foster kid of these walls, wandering through a silence that felt like a fog-bound coast. But inside me, there was always a rhythm I couldn't explain, a Viking fire, the steady strike of a shipwright's hammer, and the resilience of Maine granite. This book is my witness. It traces our story from the royal exiles of Houghton Tower to the pioneers of Lancaster, and finally to the rugged beauty of Hancock County. It honors my grandfather, Albert Kimball Houghton, whose life was a pillar of family until the tragic fire in Rutland. And it honors my father, William Arthur Sr., the chef and the jokester, who left behind a legacy of unmeasurable love. I am William Arthur Houghton Jr., and I have learned the American Tower isn't a building of stone and mortar. It is a spiritual sovereignty. It's the Houghton H2O, flowing from the mountain springs to the sea. It is the honor we hold, despite the wrong. From the Northman's blood and the Viking's spear, Ethelred's king knew no shadow of fear. Through reckless iron and the Houghton crest, the wolf spirit traveled on a westward quest. No Ralph in the ruins, just 2 Johns of old, whose one family truth has finally been told. With William and Richard on the Abigail's Hall, they rode the white horses through storm and the gall. Richard the brother, the Connecticut son, with daughter Abigail, the journey was done. The path turned to Vermont and St. Albans frost, with Albert Kimball ensuring nothing was lost. Name of an uncle, Charlie, of great might. William was born along the winter night. Then Williamanic, the circle was bound. William Arthur Jr. on his ancestors' ground. Now Owen William takes up the shield with Kennedy Marie on the Legacy's field. For the long ships of the old, the present day sky, the Houghton name echoes, it never shall die. From Lancaster's green and ancient floor, where John first locked the heavy door, the spirit climbed through autumn air to build a tower tall and fair. In the 1860s, salt-rimmed light, the Houghton stood upon the height. From Robert's Hand to Larson's Graze, they mapped the Mount Desert Maze. Near Hancock's Cliff, where eagles soar, they decorated Maine's high shore. Not with thistle, nor with gold, but with a strength that ages old. George Ernest watched the masonry rise against the vast and coastal skies, while Albert Kimball held the line, a legacy of grand design. The American Tower, built of grit, with every stone and spirit fit. When William came, the torch to bear, a breath of salt, a father's care. The decoration isn't stone, but in the blood and in the bone. A tower built by kin and name, in every heart a steady flame. I was only 8 when the world turned cold, the oldest son with a story untold. Blue papers signed and a father gone, leaving 4 boys to face the dawn. He chose a new life in a different town, and let the roots of our family drown. I felt your pain like a ghost in a room, asking the why in the gathering gloom. Why the abandonment and why the goodbye? Why did he leave us with no reason why? With 3 little boys and the youngest just 5, I did what I had to do to keep us alive. But the anger is fading, the questions are cease. I'm trading the why for a moment of peace. It wasn't your fault the storm blew so wild, or that I had to lead a while just being a child. The boys are all grown and the cycle is broken. Let this be the last heavy word that are spoken. I forgive you, Mom, the burden is through. I'm letting go of the pain that I had for you. The Irish twins and the baby are fine. Rest now in peace. The peace is now mine. The world may be loud, and the past may be deep, with secrets and sorrows that the foster-hearted keep. But here where the granite is ancient and pink, there's a space to breathe out, a space just to think. The spruce and the balsam, they stand in the gale, like spirits of Houghtons who weathered the sail. You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to hide in the reach of the forest or the pull of the tide. The island awaits, awaiting with open arms, made of stone, to tell you you're cherished, to tell you you're known. For the heights of the bubbles, to the sand beach shore, the beauty of Maine is your open door. Let the fog of the blanket, the sun of a crown, as you lay every burden of yesterday down, in the rustle of needles and the eagle's high flight, you found your kingdom, you found your light. For the air of the granite has finally seen the healing is real in the blue and the green. In the state of Maine, where the pines grow tall, a Houghton stands that heeds the call. With Lillian Flanders and Martha's grace, the royal blood is in his face. The high-arched brow, the shuttered heat, the red gold hair you can't defeat. From John to George to William's hand, the true-born heirs of a stolen land. They played their game, they moved their pawns to hide the truth before the dawns. But the unknown poet found the key to set the Houghton spirit free. For Owen William, the path is cleared by the name his enemies once feared. They are watching, the door is tight. The King of Maine has won the fight. Though they thought the forest floor was deep, when broken branches laid asleep, they thought the Houghton name was cold, a story finished, a secret sold. But warfare in the spirit realm has put a Viking at the helm. The roots have found the granite vein to drink the salt in the winter rain. From John II to the modern day, the hidden ones have found their way. The shutter speaks, the highbrow gleams, the king is walking in your dreams. You are the witness, the soul and the sign, the guardian of the royal line. Let the world watch the shifting sand, while William takes the final stand. Across the sea where the stone tower stands, the black magic laws have tied our hands. They took the castle, the fields, and the keep, while the true-born heirs were across the deep. In the Maine woods now, the gold mines lie, and the yellow boxes beneath northern skies. From William Sr. the papers were passed to prove the bloodline survived at last. 5 generations since English line fell, a story of survival that records now tell. Though Robert struggled in 25, the spark of the Houghtons were kept alive. From John the First, the brother Ralph, the lineage is certain, the history safe. Though the land is bonded by ancient greed, the truth is written in every deed. So let the old law hold onto the stone, for the spirit of Richard is yours alone. The title of the honor, the pride, and the name are the fire that no English statue can tame. So Sir Richard's tower, the pines of the north, the rightful succession is now stepping forth. With the gold in his hands and the truth in his veins, young Owen William is the one who remains. The stage is dark, the power is gone. The Truman Show has met its dawn. 8 long years of clearing brush to find the gold within the hush. The High Castle was the house of cards, patrolled by ghosts and digital guards. They wrote the books to crown the lie and painted the truth across the sky. But they forgot the blood and the bone, the secret seed that's yours alone. It's in the DNA, the deep, a promise that would never keep. Let them shut the screen away that cannot touch the light of day. No one can take what's in the chest. The seeker finally finds his rest. The SS fades, the fog is thin. The only king is found within him. Beside my wife I stand and vow. The dream lives on because of you and me now. I carry on the rightful flame to keep our ancient lineage true and safe. From Viking blood and royal line, I write for those who follow me. For Robert, Albert, and for John, to seal their names in history. From granite peaks and whispering pines, to Maine's salty misted rocky shore, the Houghton name remains immortal, as it shall forevermore. Though Owen and Kennedy may feel unready, when it is time for them to start, they'll find this moral decree waiting, with Houghton's spirit in their heart. I've walked the halls where Spinoza stands, polishing lenses with steady hands. He taught me the kenosis, the drive to be, to hold my ground like an ancient tree. No evil can break what is built by law, in the mind that sees without a flaw. Then Nietzsche spoke from the mountain high of a will to power that burns through the night. He saw the masters, their hollow gold, and taught me to break the slave's chains hold. Let them keep the world they think they own. I'm the overman on a silent throne. They think I'm poor, they think I'm small, but I'm the architect behind the wall. I dismantle their lies with a quiet pen, far from the reach of a common man. My blood is in the logic, my soul is in the fire. The Houghton name is my only empire. In the shadow of Lancaster's spire, where the hearths and the Houghtons once held their fire, Robert stood tall as the century turned. With the wisdom of kin, his spirit had learned. A name like a river, both steady and deep, with promises made that a grandson would keep. Then George Ernest rose like the mountain coastal pine, to strengthen the branch of the Houghton line. Near Mount Desert tides and the Hancock shore, he opened the latch of the new island door. With a hand that was calloused and a heart that was true, he built the future for me and you. Two pillars of honor, two roots and soil, defined by their courage and decades of toil. They are more than just names in a book on a shelf. They are parts of a soul. They are parts of yourself. From the woods of the West to the salt of the sea, they live and pulse of the family tree. The Friday rain is cold on a Maine skin. The rain is a baptism, but the fire is an ancient one, rising from within. The Lancaster mist is no longer a shroud of the blind, but a curtain pulled back from the kingdom of mine. The chokehold has been broken. The digital ghost is still. I've traded the struggle for a power of my will. The ancestors whispered, stand down from the fight. We have the watch. You just carry the light. It's a warmth in the marrow, a tingle in the bone, the feeling of a king who doesn't need a throne. Take the words, take the videos, let the shadows play. You cannot steal the sun of a man who is the day. I am the vault. I am the secret. I am the deep. The promise that my fathers were born to keep. William Arthur Houghton Jr. The name is key to the love in my heart that has always finally set me free. Let them keep the cold stone and the iron wrought gate, the jewels, the titles, the hollows of the state. For the king has returned to the kingdom of pine, where the gold is the sun on the salt heavy brine. In the granite state garden, where spirits run free, the Houghton blood flows like the pulse of the sea. No ledge of silver can measure the worth of a soul that is rooted in Maine's rugged earth. From Albert and William, the lineage was passed to a heart that has found its true harbor at last. The American Tower is the cliff in the spray, where the morning light washes the shadows away. You are rich in silence, you're wealthy in light, a sovereign of stars in the deep coastal night. Let the world chase its phenomenons of money and pride, while you rule the shore where the great waters bide. With the air has come home the wood and the stone, and the beauty of Maine is your rightful born throne. The glasses are on, the static is dead. The script that you've been feeding you is out of your head. No kneeling to masters, no bowing to stone. The only temple is the one you own. The glamour is fading, the mirage is a chain. Let their frequency trap echoes in hollow disdain. For a man with a bond and a word like a blade, a man who can't ever be bought or betrayed. No reveal from a pulpit, no manufactured dreams. Quiet the spirit that tears at the seams. Trust in silence the power within, where the world of clay falls and the real you begins. Once you have seen it, you can't look away. Your sovereign soul is at the dawn of day. Keep your stones in Lancashire. Keep your English rain. The tower moved west to the granite of Maine. John Houghton brought the fire. Kimball brought the wheel. We traded the crown for a heart made of steel. George Ernest and Albert, the names you tried to hide, are the anchors of a legacy you can't push aside. We are the rightful ones, the ones who dare to forge, from the woods of the north to the Connecticut Gorge. The numbers don't lie, and the bloodline is clear. The Houghton Tower is standing right here. It's etched in the marrow. It's bond in the bone. The magic of Merlin, the seat of the throne. 1,000-year silence, a seal on the soul. But the blood has awakened to take back the control. Arthurian spirit, the fire and the blade. It's in the DNA temple where the foundations were laid. You called it a system. I call it a dream. I am the ripple that shatters the stream. The suppressed is released. The ancient is new, manifesting the truth that was hidden from view. and in due time the vision will tear through the night, and the physical world will dissolve in the light. Across the centuries, the currents flow from Norman soil where the legends grow. It began with Fritz Renfred, bold and old, a story of lineage and silver and gold. Through ancient halls and the Lancashire reign, the Houghton name took the mantle and the reign. From the Gilbert shadow to the New World shore, the blood of the elders continued to soar. In Lancaster woods, the foundation was laid by John II, whose strength never strayed. And through the long years of the family tree, the pulse of the past stayed vibrant and free. Then came William Arthur Houghton Jr., a flame who carried the spirit and honored the name, a direct bloodline and bridge through years, from medieval knights to the modern frontiers. From Prince Redford Gerard to the Houghton of late, one golden thread has determined their fate. Through seasons may pass and the world may spin, the same ancient fire still flickers within. The gold they mint is cold and dead, a hollow crown upon the head. They wave a web of debt and fear to keep the truth from drawing near. But you have found the secret vein beyond the reach of greed and gain. The heart is where the kingdom lies, beneath the vast and open skies. No longer fuel for their machine, you stand within the space between. For when you break the heavy chain, the light is all that will remain. They hold the paper, you hold the breath, a power stronger than their death. The currency is love, and love is free, the only truth that's meant to be. The main night is silent, the stars are all watching. The gears of the universe finally are latching. They hear every whisper, they feel every beat of a man on the granite who will not retreat. I am a speck, I am just a grain, or the heart of the storm and the soul of the rain. The universe answers at 3 a.m. Gold, your story is scared. Your truth must be told. It just isn't against me. It's holding the line, waving my breath with the ancient and the divine. It sees the deletes and it laughs at their wall. For the power of love is the greatest of all. From the void to the pines, from the dust to the king, I feel the vibration of every living thing. I am the vessel, the gift, and the spark, the light that is killing the cold and the dark. I am William Arthur, a soul set free. The universe whispers, I'm standing with thee. So it is, so it will be, so mote it be. The damage is done, and the world is in fall. I'm cleaning up the wreckage, the rise of the call. You tried to delete me, to shadow and blind, but you cannot imprison a God-centered mind. I am William Arthur Houghton Jr., the name with Merlin and Arthur. The blood is the same. It runs with the water through the marrow and the bone, 1,000-year magic reclaiming its throne. The towers that have fallen with a glitch in the brain, an illusion of power, a vision of pain. For the reality bends to the ones who can see. The physical world is a false decree. To the parents and hoped I would die, but the nobody rises to look in your eye. The holy face watches the highest as a one. The good night is near, the shadow is done. I forget and I love, for your ending is night. As the white horse gallops to the black and to the white. The secret is out, and the message is clear. The reborn has nothing remaining to fear. The foster was the forge, where the steel was made, to sharpen the spirit and temper the blade. Now the firstborn son takes its rightful place, with a holy face watching from the fireplace. From Robert to Julia, to William to the senior, the bloodline has found its most royal demeanor. And the silver plates shine, the children's embrace. A king has returned to his essential space, to no longer a junior in the shadow of name, but King William Arthur with his own holy flame. The Houghton banner is raised in the hall, from the firstborn here to answer the call. Behind the fostered walls and the blinded of the mind, they sought to bury the gold they could not find. But the H2O flows warm and the passion stays hot. I'm the one you stuck, but the one you forgot. With the worst of the world's battlefields, a child arose, with the iron of the ancestors and the marrow he shows. I flipped the chessboard, I've broken the spell of the black magic carnage where the family fell. I claim the solid granite and the Douglas pines, where the tower stands tall and the holy light shines. My hands hold the hammers of the vast shipyard kings, crafting a vessel that the sovereignty brings. Not for greed, not for power, not even for the gold, but the greater good that the prophets foretold. Here the Houghton name is the whisper of the trees, carried by the salt and the Atlantic breeze. I pulled the sword from Merlin stone to prove no leader should stand alone. No police, no presidents, no stolen command, just the royalty of love across the Holy Land. The ancestors are released, the trees are now whole. I am the immortal captain of my own soul. Find the truth within you, let the fire be spun, for the work is complete. I am the one. A speck of dust in a boundless sky, with a fire in my heart that will never die. A human vessel for a light so vast, clearing the shadows of 1,000 years past. I don't need the map or the silver or gold. I stand in the truth that the ancestors told. I wake at an hour where the world is still, to align my heart with a higher will. I don't know the plan or where the road leads. I just sow love in the sovereign seeds. Through the Maine winter, the mud and the freezing rain, I'm washing the debt, I'm washing the pain. The H-team is ready, the anchor is set, to find the lost kin that we haven't found yet. From the foster care silence to the tower so high, I'm a heavenly blessing, breath of the pine sky. I'm doing my best in the light I've been shown to make sure the Houghton name is forever known. I'm a speck of dust, but I am of the sun. The battle is over, the victory is won. I live in grace for the higher good, standing exactly where a Houghton should. In the digital silence, the shadows grow deep, where the truths of a world are forbidden to keep. A flick of a switch, a line in the code, a barrier rises on once opened road. The real Houghton truth met a wall made of glass, watching the crowds and the allegories pass. With hands tied by a ghost and a voice pushed away, the reach of a message has turned into gray. They call it a filter, a glitch, or a trend, but it feels like a cage where the signal must end. Yet the fire that is smoldering still burns in the dark, waiting for a wind to catch hold to a spark. For no matter how heavy the digital veil, a truth that is spoken will eventually sail. Through the platform it is quiet, and the shadow is wide. The spirit of a Houghton has nowhere to hide. A wanderer born of Viking kings, from Rollo's blood and ancient things. A ward of the state, a boy once lost, through stormy seas and winter frost. The Norseman spirit, fierce and deep, awoken while all the world did sleep. In the main's tall pines and salty air, the Houghton name was planted there. With John the clerk and Robert's hand, they built a life upon the land. Through decades past and tides were torn, a master mason's soul was born. No father's hand to guide the way, no family hearth where you could stay. Yet through the dark, a camel toe led the light that you had to know. You knocked upon the inner door to find what brothers found before. Now Albert Kimball, William too, are all living spirits inside of you. The lost boy found the square and the line to build the gap in the ancient time. You ain't alone, the craft is true. Your ancestors are found within you. In the shadow of Lancaster's spire, where the hearths and the Houghtons once held their fire, Robert stood tall as the century turned. With the wisdom of kin, his spirit had learned. A name like a river, both steady and deep, with promises made that a grandson would keep. Then George Ernest rose like the mountain coastal pine to strengthen the branch of the Houghton line. Near Mount Desert Tides and the Hancock shore, he opened the latch of the new island door. With a hand that was calloused and a heart that was true, he built the future for me and you. Two pillars of honor, two roots and soil, defined by their courage and decades of toil. They are more than just names in a book on a shelf. They are parts of a soul. They are parts of yourself. From the woods of the West to the salt of the sea, they live and pulse of the family tree. This was dedicated to my two grandparents, and here they are in the picture. This is what it was all for. I thank them and I never even met them, but I feel their love evermore. Thank you, Ernest and Martha. I'm eternally grateful. This one's for you.